welcome to Little Learners. Today we're talking about inspections. Yes, I know that is a very scary word. Before we get started, I want to let you know that this video is sponsored by our friends at Child Paths. We'll be hearing more about them later in the video. If you do find this video helpful or interesting, please do click the like button as it really helps out the channel. And if you want to see more videos just like this one, click the subscribe button. Now, inspections, whether they're Ofsted inspections or some other kind of inspection, they can be a little bit daunting. So I have 3 tips today for how to make it a little bit easier for yourself. Of course, there are more than 3 tips on how to make inspections or Ofsted inspections easier, so if you want some more, do let me know in the comments down below. Tip 1. Have an action plan. There should be an action plan for all SLT, that all SLT have a copy of, for what to do when you get the call. This will reduce anxiety, hopefully, and ensure that there is a lot less panic because you already have a checklist of everything you need to do. You know who is responsible for what, and you can just get on with it rather than getting the call and then thinking, okay, now we need to have a meeting and we need to think of all the different paperwork and things that we need to get ready. We need to think about everything we need to do, and then we need to do it. Just take that first part out, sort it out prior to any kind of inspection even cropping up on your radar. Have your checklist, have your action plan, and then as soon as you get the call, you can notify everyone and everyone knows exactly what they need to do and everyone is following the same plan. You may also wish to have an action plan for teachers as well as SLT. Obviously that won't involve as much information and as many things to do and get ready because SLT will be doing that, but it may be helpful and just help people feel a little bit more at ease because they have very clear instructions of what they need to do rather than worrying about everything that they might forget about. Tip number 2, be honest with yourself about your school or setting's strengths and weaknesses. It is very important that you know what your school's weaknesses are because Ofsted will certainly find them. And if you already know what they are, then you're prepared. Can you turn those weaknesses into a strength? Is there something that you are already doing to address these weaknesses? The last thing you want is for a member of staff to be caught off guard by an Ofsted inspector asking about one of these weaknesses and then that member of staff having no idea what to say. So it may be useful to call a meeting to discuss some of these talking points so that everyone is on the same page. Maybe one of your weaknesses is that there is a large attainment gap between boys and girls in your school, and you are working on this by having intervention groups. Or maybe you're trying to raise the profile of reading in your school to encourage more boys to read because that's the area that boys are struggling most in. Something like that. Whatever your weaknesses are, find a positive for it or how you're addressing it. Now, my 3rd tip is very important, and that is being prepared by being organised. Now, we all know that when Ofsted or any inspectors come in, they want to see lots of data, and scrambling to get all of that data ready and all of the paperwork ready can be an absolute nightmare, especially if you're doing some on paper and some on one system and some on another platform, and some people have access to one folder and other people have access to another folder, and then there's a password on this folder and the person who set the password has left, so you have no idea what that password is anymore. So there is an easier way, and that's where our sponsor Child Paths comes into this video. Now hear me out, because not only are they a sponsor, but I genuinely think they can make our lives so much easier when it comes to inspections. Now, if you've been watching my videos within the last few months, you will know that I'm a big fan of Child Paths, and so I was very, very excited when they wanted to sponsor some videos on this channel. When it comes to inspections and having everything organised and prepared, Child Paths have you covered. This is one platform where you can do everything. Not only can you plan your curriculum, carry out observations if you're in early years, you can plan and track activities. You have an occupancy planner so that you can know when you have spaces if you are an early years setting. You have the milestones feature where you can record all children's milestones, have targets for them all generated for you, and even an action plan if necessary. You can also do all of your finance on here too. And of course, you can then generate reports about all of these things. Now, of course, I'm coming from an early years perspective, but Child Paths covers older children as well. You can also have all of your forms on here. Parents can sign them through the app. So you can have everything in one place. You don't need to print everything out and store everything in folders because it's all on Child Paths. So if you want to make inspections a lot easier and be prepared by being organised, then Child Paths is something you may want to look at. I will put all the information about how you can find out more about Child Paths in the description box down below. Thank you so much to Child Paths for sponsoring this video and for helping to make practitioners' lives easier. So those were my top 3 tips for ensuring that your inspection goes more smoothly. As you've probably noticed, they are all preparation tips because being prepared makes everything better. If you would like more tips or more information on that action plan that I mentioned, then do let me know in the comments section down below. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like as it really helps out the channel, and don't forget to subscribe so you can see more videos just like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.